Guys, I have made a discovery, a crazy discovery. I think I cracked the code. I figured out how herd management works. I figured out whether or not it increases the amount of great ones that you put in your lodge. And I figured out how the entire respawn system works. And it is extraordinary how complex it is. And you know, me, Squid being Squid, I'm going to break it down simply in this video. I don't even know how to start this video. I don't know what kind of intro I want to make, but I'll tell you this. My manager and I were in voice chat for 3.5 hours last night, scribbling things down on paper, messing around, studying every single piece of information that we can get to settle this debate forever. Does herd management increase the amount of great ones that you get here in the Hunter called Wild? We are going to settle that question in this video. Not only are we going to do that, but we're also going to break down in detail how the respawn system works, and explain to you guys why or why not herd management helps or doesn't help spawn great ones. A lot of my opinions have changed, but a lot of my opinions have also been reassured. If you guys are excited for this video, definitely make sure that you guys do in fact stay until the end of this video. Some things here today don't want to mess up this diamond, might get a little bit technical, might get a little bit confusing, but Squid being Squid, I'm known for explaining things in an extremely simple and detailed way here in the Hunter called Wild. Whether this be setting up for grinds, herd management, different methods for different maps, etc. I will do my absolute best to explain it from a game designer's perspective in the most simple way here in today's video. So without further ado guys, wasting no more of your time, let's go ahead and dive right into it. Right after we claim this diamond. Beautiful. So to start this absolute behemoth of a video off that I'm going to destroy my voice box by recording because I have a terrible cold right now, we have to go back several years here in the community. Back all the way when the Great One Whitetail came out. The very first Great One, 2 years after the game released. All the way back in what I believe would be 2019. Everyone wanted to know, how did Great Ones spawn? And the developers at Expansive Worlds told us a very upfront, I guess, and bland answer. RNG, random number generation. It is completely random when your Great One will spawn, it's just a matter of shooting and claiming males until it happens. Now, this is technically truthful, and I've been going by this for my entire YouTube career. And as of last night, my opinion has changed. It's still RNG, but I figured out how it works. And this is some of the most complex RNG I've ever seen in a freaking video game. It's mind-blowing. This stupid hunting game is so detailed, man. So to start this off, my friends, you have to first ask yourself, do Great Ones really just spawn from RNG? Simply, if you're shooting and claiming males, is it just random when your Great One will spawn? Is it really that simple? I'm here to tell you that no, it's not that simple. Because if it were all just RNG and there were like a cap, like you can't have a grind over X amount of kills, just pick a random number between 1 and 10,000 or something, then we wouldn't have consistent grinds, you know, without herd management, or just even with herd management, 8,000, 5,000, even myself with over 25,000 black bear kills. Pheasant grinds that are over 4,000 kills. If it were simply just RNG, I think Great Ones would spawn a lot more consistently for people because there would have to be some type of cap on that RNG. Pick a random number between 1 and whatever the cap is. Clearly it would have to be over 30,000 because that's roughly the amount of black bears I killed for my last grind, which took me 8 months. And that pick a random number script, if that were to be how the RNG works, would have to be ran every single time a male of a Great One species is shot and claimed. Because we know that unclaimed males cannot come back as Great Ones according to the developers at EW. Now, EW didn't lie to us. They didn't tell us that Great Ones spawn off of some system other than RNG, but their form of RNG in their brains and the way they got it into this game is way more advanced than the majority of us thought. It's not just pick a random number every single time you shoot and claim a male, and this is where it's going to start to get deep. You guys better be ready for this. Grab a Mountain Dew and some popcorn. Cup of coffee, I don't give a crap. Pay close attention, my friendjamins. It's all about the weight. EW never defined what part of the spawn system is RNG. I always thought it was just the entire thing, like I just explained to you a second ago. Pick a random number every single time you shoot and claim a male. That's not how it works. Take animal movement, for example. Their AI tracking is not predetermined. It's completely random. They move, run animations, and walk in different places every single time that you see them. But they always go to the same destination. They always go to these feeders that I have set up because it's their feed time. They always go to their drink zone at the same location because it's their drink zone, at their drink time. But the way they get there is random. One time they could come from over there, next time they could come from over there, they could come from a little bit further down, a little bit further up, there could be one less, there could be one more, you know, it's completely random. That is artificial intelligence that's programmed into the Grey Wolves. But controlled intelligence, which is pre-decided variables by humans, forces the Grey Wolves to go to the feed zones, to go to the drink zones at the exact same place every time, just to get there in a random way. This is how Great Ones spawn. When you first launch your game for the first time ever, there is a herd on your map. This is before you've even shot and claimed a singular male, guys. There is a herd on your map that is predetermined to spawn a Great One when a very, very specific variable is met. And we're going to talk about this here in a second. Obviously, when you shoot a male and you claim a male, it doesn't come back as the same level over and over and over again. There's some RNG in there. This level 7 could come back as a level 4, it could come back as a level 9, but there's something here that tells me this isn't going to come back as a 10 fabled. This, shooting and claiming this, it might not come back as a 10 fabled. It might if this variable I'm about to teach you guys adds up properly, and I know this is getting advanced. Just stay with me, guys. Don't go anywhere. I'll make this make sense for you. I'm Squid. What did you think, bro? This isn't going to come back as a Great One, but shooting and claiming it could possibly make a Great One spawn in here. It's not that when you shoot and claim males that it comes back as a Great One, or there's a chance it can come back as a Great One. It's not that simple. Every single time that you shoot and claim a male, the weight estimate of its respawn, that level 7 that I just shot, when it respawns, whatever level it is, screw the level, it's the weight estimate. It's all about the weight, like I said. The weight estimate of its respawn will either go up by pick random 1 to 33 or go down by pick random 1 to 33. And the up and down of its respawn is decided by what the average weight of your map is. I'm going to talk about how I learned all this and figured all this out here in just a few minutes. A lot of this information is coming from my managers after hundreds of hours of digging on this topic, and that's why I've waited so long to make this video, to make sure that I can get it perfect for you guys. There's apparently a predetermined sweet spot of the map's average weight where a Great One will spawn. That is extraordinary. So that means, right off the bat, when you start your grind, when I have super, super tiny grinds, like that 2-kill wolf grind, that means that odds are I didn't just get lucky, claim 2 males and one of them come back as a Great One. That's too simple. That's not how it works. I was lucky enough, and this makes sense too. I was lucky enough for my map to be very, very close to that predetermined weight variable, that predetermined average weight variable. So the average weight of every single Grey Wolf on my map to be very, very close. And by shooting those 2 males after having that first 500 kill, 100 kill grind, whatever the heck it was, everything lined up. The predetermined variable was met. Now, what this predetermined variable is, we don't know. We don't know if this is an average of all minimum weights, an average of just a random number. We don't know what this is, but there's a lot pointing towards the fact that that predetermined variable needs to be very, very small. And the reason for this is because we see a pattern when grinds are heavily herd managed that Great Ones pop more consistently. And the explanation for people having extremely short grinds, such as myself with no herd management whatsoever, shoot, I didn't even have all my drink zones discovered, is the fact that that predetermined variable might have been almost met right off the bat when I launched my map initially. It was definitely less than 500 kills off from being met, and by shooting those 500 Grey Wolves, the average weight of every single Grey Wolf on my map was met. And sometimes this might take you 10,000 kills to do. 30,000 kills to do, like my black bear grind. And the reason that I think it took so long for my black bear grind, mind you this, pretty much every single exterior zone for my black bear grind is shot down. The only thing that I don't know about is the coast. But the reason I think it took so long for my black bear grind, and something that I noticed right before my Great One spawned, is every single animal or excuse me, every single black bear in my 4 main zones was either a level 4 or a level 5. Okay, now listen. A lot of people would mistake this for being, oh, my animals are getting small, a great one's about to spawn. Same thing happens with a lot of my deer grinds, my mule deer, my fallow deer. But that's not what's happening. It's just you shooting a crap ton of animals, and eventually, every single male black bear in those 4 lakes, so all of your respawns, out of pure luck, are level 4s and level 5s. 4s and 5s usually have that minimum weight estimate for black bears. The rest of my map has nothing but minimum weight bears on it, or at least 90% of it does. Okay, now think about this. Those 4 main lakes, where there's big bears consistently, or shooter bears at least, for me it's a lot of 6s, 7s, and 8s, because I'm not fully herd managed. It took me so long to get them to a point of where it's like, okay, I noticed that over the last few hundred kills, every single bear that would spawn in was either a 4 or a 5, and then a mythical would pop up out of nowhere. No 7s really at all. It's just max waiters, bunch of tiny ones. Max waiters, bunch of tiny ones. And that predetermined variable was slowly being met. Max waiters would show up because there's some RNG in there. You know, when every single time you claim a bear, there's no guarantee that it's going to come back as a level 4 or 5, obviously. There's some RNG, but it was getting closer. It was getting closer. It was getting closer. Eventually, now, I didn't notice this or not. I didn't pay close enough of attention, but I guarantee you a rotation or two before my great one spawned, every single black bear was either a 4, 5, or a 6. Every single one. I can almost guarantee you, and I can guarantee you for my mule deer grind, my fallow deer grind, they get so tiny it's stupid. I won't even have any level 4 fallow deer. Period. It'll all be 3s and 2s. Then I notice great one spawns. All 3s and 2s, great one spawns. A little bit harder to notice with the bears because obviously they go up to level 9. And when that predetermined variable is met, it's probably a very, very specific number, like X amount of minimum weights, X amount of mid weights, X amount of max weight estimates. And once that all adds up, it'll create an average number, and that one average number is where your great one spawns at. And that is how great ones are so rare. And there's something out there that's telling us that that number is small, meaning that there's a large amount of minimum weights needed on your map, but also some max weights, some mid weights. It's not just your entire map is tiny equals great one, herd manage your map equals great one. Herd management doesn't help with great ones. It rolls the dice faster. It doesn't change the dice, it rolls the dice faster. This is extraordinary and the biggest discovery we've made in the sense of herd management and how the respawn system works for great ones since they've ever been released. Now, as I said earlier, it's not just that predetermined variable. The first time that you launch your map, the first time that you launch your map, there is a herd of animals that is pre-chosen to yield a great one. That is where your great one will spawn at. 100%, it won't spawn anywhere else but there. And when a great one is spawned, the seed of where that great one will spawn at, the herd of where that great one will spawn at, is then switched to another random herd on your map. So this means that herd management could actually negatively affect your grind. If, for example, you were to ignore the herd that the great one would be yielded into, aka herd managing it, shooting it down and never worrying about it again, then you'll never get a great one. You will never get a great one. It is predetermined where your great one will spawn. Could be thousands of kills before it even freaking spawns, before that predetermined variable is met. That weight variable. That average weight variable. Thus meaning that herd management can't be done all in one place. In order for a great one to even spawn, you need to hunt a wide variety of your map, as there's no way to tell where those predetermined spawn groups are. A lot of these people that are getting extremely, extremely lucky over and over again with these super, super short grinds really are having that predetermined group go to their main zones over and over and over again. And that's pure luck. That's why some of us that have these crazy long grinds like myself, something that we'll do when it gets to be that long is we'll shoot males in exterior zones. And I've had it happen. I have had great ones spawn in exterior zones, and something that we mistake that for is, oh, my great one spawned, but it jumped to an exterior zone. No. If I were to shoot that exterior zone just as consistently, that specific exterior zone where the great one spawned at, just as consistently, if not more consistent, than my main zones that I herd managed and set up on, those 8 main zones, or for my bear grind, those 4 main zones, I would have had my great one way faster. As soon as that predetermined variable was met, I would have had it. But that predetermined weight variable, average weight variable, was probably met, with as many black bears as I've killed, maybe 100 plus times in my grind. And the thing is, I didn't shoot any males out of those exterior zones. And, you know, I did eventually, and my bear spawned in a main zone at those 4 lakes, which is still kind of mind-blowing to me, like why did that happen? But that makes me think, is there a great one elsewhere on my map right now? There very well could be, because I did shoot exterior zones. I shot some level 6s, some level 7s, ran the coast, shot any shooter bears that I could see, just trying to herd manage my grind a little bit better to see if that would help at all. And yeah, it eventually did spawn in those main zones, but I almost wonder, dude, is there a great one elsewhere on my map right now? So the final takeaway here, great ones spawn from RNG during respawns. But this RNG is not the RNG that we're thinking of. It's not pick random level and that great one level's in there, come back, pick random number between 1 and 10,000. No, it's very, very specific how great ones spawn. That's why they're so rare. The weight variable has to be met, and you have to be shooting males from that predetermined spawn seed, spawn group, herd of animals as most of you guys would know it, in order for it to even spawn. So herd management helps you roll the dice faster, because herd management requires you to hunt so many locations in order to shoot them down. Pretty much your entire population needs to be hunted if you're herd managing heavily, but it doesn't change the dice. It doesn't change how the great ones spawn. It's still all RNG. That system of RNG cannot be manipulated. There is no way to manipulate it. But herd management does help you, or could help you, better said, find your great one faster. And the reason for that is because you have to hunt so many locations. Now, a lot of us will get lucky. You know, we'll pick some random places to set up and just start shooting, like I did with my gray wolves. It just so happened that that predetermined variable, the weight variable, was almost met on my map. In one of these locations that I'm set up on, for my first great one, it would have been this lake here, I think. It just so happened that this zone here was decided before I even ever discovered it that a great one would spawn there. It's just a matter of waiting until the weight variable's met. Once the weight variable's met, as long as the player's shooting enough males out of this specific predetermined zone that it's going to spawn at, the great one will pop. And then once it's spawned, that zone where the great one was predetermined to spawn at, as long as males are being flushed in and out of there and the weight variable's met, the average weight variable, that zone then switched. And it just so happened that it switched up to here, and it only took me 2 kills to get that weight variable perfect again. And it's happened over and over again at a lot of my main zones, and it's just jumping between my main zones out of pure luck, because there's such a low amount of zones here. Now, there could be a great one up here, there could be a great one all the way out here on the coast, and I might have a 10,000 kill grind and never find the dang thing again. So, my final thing that I'm going to say here is the best way for you to spawn a great one is to hunt them how they were designed to be hunted. When the great ones came out, and they still use this exact same system, and we're going to talk about how I discovered all this information here in just a second, great ones are meant to be random. They're not meant to be herd managed, set up, and grinded for. They're meant to be, as long as you're hunting super wide locations on your map and killing a lot of animals, hunting all over everywhere they can potentially spawn at, the great one will eventually spawn. And this makes sense, because what did we do before great one grinding existed? We ran around and shot males. That was our best hope of spawning a white-tailed deer great one when it first came out, until people discovered tents, tripods, yada yada. This will help you get more kills per hour, even though that great ones spawn completely randomly. And I've always had that thought in the back of my mind, like, are they designed to be grinded for, or are they designed to be spawned randomly for people that just run around and blast males? Utilizing tents and tripods to help you run around and blast random males more consistently might be nice, but only shooting 8 zones, doing the 4-lake method for the black bear, might not be the way to go anymore, guys. Because if that predetermined zone where that great one is going to spawn at is not in those 4 lakes, which for some reason with the bears it seems like it is a lot, and maybe it's like, you know, once you get a great one to spawn there, is it like the home range that's not allowing that predetermined zone to jump elsewhere? Like, why does the 4-lake method for black bear work so well? Why have every single one of my black bears besides one spawned there? You know? Why have all of my great one wolves spawned in my main zones? And I really do think that it's pure luck. It really is just pure luck, and that's why we have these extremely long grinds, because when that predetermined zone does jump elsewhere, it's not that it's just taking forever, it's that you're not shooting the right zones. Massive thank you to all of my managers in my Discord server. Especially Lost, he did so much digging on this. He found so many different screenshots, so many chunks of information. I just wrote everything down that I possibly could and did this video completely with no script. I just got a bunch of notes here on my left monitor in a Google document. Took everything I could. It took us 3.5 hours to put all this information together. Bunch of different sources kind of played into this. Bunch of different articles online. Actually, ChatGPT said some things into this. I'll toss this up on screen for you guys right now. Does herd management help increase the spawn chance of great ones? And guess what it says? Expansive World said explicitly that it's all RNG. That's what it said, at least last night when we asked ChatGPT if herd management helps spawn great ones. A lot of people don't believe me that EW actually said that. They think I'm lying in my videos for whatever reason. They're probably 10 years old. I don't know. But yeah, right when the Whitetail Great One came out, of course we were going to ask EW. I didn't. The other creators did. I wasn't even a YouTuber right when the first Great One came out. And now here I am. I just cracked the code. This is how it works, guys. I know now. And the change that I'm going to make in all my grinds, this video is going to be so long, but the biggest change that I'm going to make is hunting elsewhere. This may seem like a terrible idea, because usually I'll say, you know, only hunt in those 8 zones, so that way the Great One will 100% spawn there, but that's not how it works. There's no guarantee that that predetermined zone is in your main zones. It could be anywheres on your map. But I will say herd managing and shooting those 8 main zones consistently can help you get that predetermined weight variable met way faster. So in a way, herd managing your entire map could help you, especially if that predetermined weight variable is usually small, but that we don't know. I don't think it's max weight. I usually don't have Great Ones spawn when my map gets super large, but for the wolves, I will say before Great Ones spawn, diamonds pop like crazy, so could that variable, that weight variable, be different for the Great One wolf? Could it be different from Great One to Great One? That we don't know. It's still all just a guessing game. Great Ones are still definitely the most hard species, or excuse me, the most hard trophy to spawn in the entire game. And I would say the debate's not over, it just got a whole lot more deep. Let me know down below what you think. Let me know down below what you've taken away from this. Again, massive shout out to my managers in my Discord server who've helped out with this so much, man. Who've helped us gather so much information. I just joined voice chat last night and our Lost was in there talking about it. Next thing I know, I'm scripting up this video or writing down all these notes so I can wing it and try to explain it the best way that I can. And I'd say that it wasn't my best way of explaining. I know it was kind of confusing for some of you guys, especially if you might be a little bit younger. But I did the best that I possibly could, man. I really hope this helped you guys out. This is an extremely difficult topic to understand in general. Try to go make a YouTube video on it. But hey, if you guys enjoyed this video, it would be very much appreciated if you could go down there, smash that like button, and subscribe. As my goal as a 16-year-old content creator by the end of 2026 is 50,000 subscribers. And it would be very much appreciated if you guys could help me out in reaching that goal. We're on track to crush it right now. You guys are doing an absolutely amazing job. Let's beat it, man. Let's freaking go. I'm so excited. Join the Discord server. Questions, comments, concerns, etc. The link for that is down below. The Squid Gang is the best Discord server. Hands down, bro. The most including, the most kind, the most helpful. I'm in there in voice chat pretty much every single day. Join up, man. As always, my name is Squid. You guys are watching Squidster Gaming, and we'll catch you guys in the next banger. Peace out, my gamers.